Contact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Okay, chat. It's too quick. It's too quick. Maybe this. A lot better. And what is that? Itchy packer. If it's as bad as it? Wait, is it bad for you guys? This look for me looks a little low, but it's not terrible. Blocking my attack will disable it.
Recover faster after taking damage. Multiple DN shield throw will empower your next shield throw. What? Oh my god, this is badass. What about my gun? Or my melee gauntlet? What is this? Increase the damage of your final hit in the power gauntlet combo. Really? So do I have to buy one of these to unlock the next one? No, right? They're not tied to each other, I don't think. I don't have to buy one to get the next one. I just have to like level up, I think. What is this one? Dealing enough damage to a demon with a combat shotgun applies burn. Burn ammo drops armor pickups. Enough damage to a demon with a shredder applies pin cushion. Hitting a demon with a throw or parrying it detonates pin cushion, causing damage in a wide area. That sounds fucking badass. Shredder's rate of fire is increased. Barbed. Dude. Holy anime. What do I want? Larger shockwave. I mean, I kind of have to parry that shit for sure. It seems like the parrying is going to be a big part of the gameplay. Jeez. Come on, bro. You already know. It's time for the parry goat. How much do I have? 75. All right, we're going to do this one. No! I fucked up. That's not what I wanted to buy. God damn it, bro. Reload the save. Man. 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 What are these thingies? The fuck is that shit, chat? And why is there a demon door there? Man. How do I open this door? Man, I threw, bro. I bought the wrong one. But I'll get more gold, though. It's fine. It's no biggie. I have no idea what this is for. The stone imp can deflect the shield saw with its stone skin. It is vulnerable to shield charge, which will cause it to explode.
Fellas, we back, baby. The voice is almost at 100%. Things may sound a bit scratchy today, but we are finally hitting our pre and post testing. Now, the reason why we do pre and post is, well, we want to see exactly how much things have changed after updates go live. The other reason why we do it is because sometimes, well, changes actually don't go through. So this is essentially our way of keeping the sandbox team in check. With that being said, though, let's dive into all of the changes. This is likely to be the last sandbox change we will receive before Edge of Fate, which will be launching in July. Some pretty meaty stuff here, guys, so let's get started. Starting out with our exotics, we first have Lord of Wolves. Now, this bad baby was doing way too much damage, and Bungie has finally addressed it. They essentially have reduced its hip-fire damage in PvE by 30%. Now, pre-update, Lord of Wolves was a hip-firing monster. We were using it in our solo runs. People were using it to one-face bosses. And here at Carl, you'll see that the hip-fire shot was doing 10,118 damage per pellet to the body and 16,764 damage per pellet per crit. Post update though, a hipfire body shot against Coral now hits for 7,329 damage with a crit of 11,712 damage. A pretty substantial nerf, guys. About 28% to the body and 30% for crit shots. With that being said though, I still believe Lord of Wolves is a very good exotic, and it still maintains itself as a top 10 DPS weapon. Next, we have Finality's Augur. Now, this one received quite a few quality of life changes. Bungie increased the duration that a target is painted to match the duration of the turret. The environmental target marker now marks additional targets that entered the zone after its the DPS weapon. Next, we have Finality's Augur. Now, this one received quite a few quality of life changes. Bungie increased the duration that a target is painted to match the duration of the turret. The environmental target marker now marks additional targets that entered the zone after its initial creation. It now grants an automatic reload from reserves when deploying the turret. Also, self-damage from the turret has been reduced by 85% because for some reason the turret could actually destroy itself previously, and damage from the turret has been increased by 10%. Now, I think the big changes here, guys, is pretty much across the board. Like, everything here is amazing. The damage, especially the changes to the turret marking. First up, when creating the turret, you do get an automatic reload, which didn't happen pre-update. And in terms of damage, pre-turret, it was dealing 5,070 damage against Coral. And now post, it's doing 5,577 targets. They get an orange outline around them. And previously, it would only last 15 seconds. Post-update, though, the target will be marked for as long as the turret is active, which Coral actually died before the turret would even run out. But the turret should last for 25 seconds. Now, when marking the environment, pre-update, as you can see here, the war beast, when walking through it, did not get targeted. But post-updates, they now do. Now, the last part of the changes here was the turret self-damage being reduced by 85%. There's only a few special instances where the turret will literally destroy itself, but after this change, that shouldn't be an issue. Now, next up, we have Alanthanium. Previously, creating an ammo brick would drain all of the weapon's energy, even when just making a special brick, which only needed 50% energy. Now, post, it no longer drains at all, just the 50% needed. So for instance, at 100% energy for the weapon, you can now make 2 special bricks. So again, a nice quality of life change. Next up, we have Truth and Two-Tail Fox. Bungie is trying something new. Essentially, they want to make rocket launchers more viable inside of PvP. And they're starting with these 2 rockets right here. But when picking up ammo inside of PvP, you now get 2 ammo. However, in our testing, Truth is the only one actually getting 2 ammo from a heavy crate, because for whatever reason, Two-Tail Fox is still only getting 1. All right, next we have Wrist Runner. This one has been a low zoom outlier for a long time, and it finally got its zoom bumped up from 13 to now 14. Now, range is no longer affected by zoom. It hasn't been for a while now, but there is still other benefits to having higher zoom, such as aim assist fall off, visual recoil, and accuracy. Now, Wrist Runner also received another buff since it's an adaptive frame SMG, and those received an increase to their ADS damage fall off scaler from 1.4 times to 1.5. Now this equals to about roughly an extra meter-ish of range. So Wrist Runner is now hitting damage fall off at about 24 meters. Now for another point of comparison, we took a legendary adaptive SMG, Mirror Imago, which at 62 range was hitting fall off at 21 meters. And now Pose starts fall off at 22 meters. What I will say about Wrist Runner is yes, it's got significant reach now and it should feel a lot better to use. It's also like the best thing to use against anyone using Arc, as it just direct hard counters them. And you'll be amazed how many people you can surprise with a Wrist Runner swap mid-match. Now we have one more exotic weapon change to talk about, and that is Vex Mythic Class. Now I know what some of you are probably thinking, Cross, Vex wasn't even in the patch notes. But see, that's the unique thing about Vex Mythic Class. It's a fusion rifle, but a high impact auto rifle, which means it received a 4% increase in its base damage, taking its body shot damage from 23 to 24 and its crit damage from 41.4 to 43.2. Now pre-update at tier 10 resilience, Vex Mythic Class was killing in 6 crits 0.83 seconds. And then from tier 9 and below, you can get the kill in 5 crits 1 body, but still at 0.83 seconds. Now Vex Mythic Class also has a unique catalyst, which provides a damage buff for 5 seconds after securing a kill. Pre-update, that would increase our damage for its crit to 50 and its body shot to 28. And it would result in a time to kill value of 0.67 seconds in 5 crits. Now post-update, Vex Mythic Class, along with other high impact auto rifles, can get the kill at tier 10 resilience to tier 6 in 5 crits 1 body in 0.83 seconds. Then from tier 5 resilience and below, it can get the kill in 4 crits 2 body. And technically at 0 resilience, which I highly doubt anyone is rocking, but if you are, you can actually be killed by Vex Mythic Class in 5 crits 0.67 seconds now. Now with the damage buff from the catalyst, post-updated Vex can now kill in 4 crits 1 body against all resilience levels for that 0.67 time to kill value. Now something that makes Vex Mythic Class especially strong is when paired with the exotic Rain of Fire. As again, yes, it's a high impact auto rifle, but in game, it's a fusion rifle and therefore synergizes with Rain of Fire. Essentially though, when you get a kill, you proc Radiant and you proc the Catalyst buff, which gives you the double stack, allowing you to get the kill in 3 crits 2 body, even on max resilience Guardians in 0.67 seconds. And then from tier 8 resilience and below, you can actually get the kill in 4 crits. Now let me just say guys, I did play with Vex Mythic Class. I enjoyed it. However, it does struggle in the current meta, especially with peak shooters. Bungie desperately wants to stay away from bumping the rounds per minute up on Vex Mythic Class to 390, as they pulled it back to a 360 because of that reason. And perhaps on console, Vex Mythic Class is more of a monster. But here on PC, it really doesn't hang with the meta. The way it shoots, the way it oscillates, there's some level of like inaccuracies that can occur that in my opinion, making it a 390 is an option that Bungie should consider. But again, console guys, you let me know. Maybe Vex Mythic Class is already too strong in its current state for console players, and Bungie's trying to keep the same sandbox between both platforms. Now guys, my voice is literally going out halfway through this video. I want to keep talking, I want to keep recording, but I already know that my voice is going to be gone before we can even stream today. I'm going to let Luke take over from here. He's going to walk you through all the pre and post changes though for exotic armor pieces. Hopefully at some point this week, guys, we'll get back to our normal cadence of videos.
Hey, what's up everybody? Let's go ahead and take a look at our exotic armor changes. Radiant Dance Machines was hit with yet another nerf, as it is still overperforming, especially on mouse and keyboard. First up, Bungie has reduced the bonuses granted to primary weapons when hip firing. They've allowed
Yeah, crash out. It's Asmongold's fault I got detained. What is this? So is Hassan blaming me that he got detained at the airport? Yeah, guys, I made the call.
And I was shocked. We're unironically brought up in that conversation. The Houthi. Like, did you?
That's right. Yes, that's right. Saying that you support a designated terrorist organization got you extra questioning whenever you were re-entering the country.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure. See, I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. I have no problem with the Houthis. Yeah, because I don't. What do you mean?
Yeah, okay, there it is.
If you think I'm a terrorism supporter for that reason, then yeah, I'm a fucking terrorism supporter. What are you talking?
Okay, well, there it is. Wow,
I actually have no idea how to start off this video. No memes, no ha-has, no goofiness or silliness, if you will. Let's just get straight to the point. So there's this Twitch streamer who goes by Amaranth. She's one of the biggest Twitch streamers and one of the biggest OF girls out there. She's been around forever. You might know her from this.
Mechanicon. I'm very surprised that it fit perfectly in the dimensions because I just like eyeballed it. I was like,
nailed it.
Nailed it. Show banner? Okay.
Ooh, that stings, Rance. Yeah, that stings.
Yes, that's her, and yes, that is her core audience. This is a situation that escalated from Amaranth and her husband have been fighting for hours on Cake, and then her breaking down, and then calling the cops, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. We're gonna talk and cover everything here. Now, before we get into those clips, I want to make this very clear. This is someone who has lied about being assaulted. Looks like lies about this every 6 or 7 months whenever she needs relevancy for whatever reason. And this is not me underplaying this or being like, don't believe her, guys. But once again, this is someone who has lied about this kind of stuff before. And when this happened for the first time about a year or two ago, everyone came to her defense, including myself. I made a video being like, yo, this situation sucks. I feel bad for her. But then it turned out it was fake. It wasn't a real abuse situation. So now everyone's just like, should we believe her? Should we not? Is this part of a script?
Amaranth is the biggest fraud on Twitch. You guys remember a couple months ago when Amaranth was having that situation with her ex-husband? Where basically she told the entire internet that her husband was actually abusive. And because of him, she was actually forced to do OnlyFans. He actually forced her to be sexualized on stream on a daily basis, and this was all because of financial reasons, because this husband wanted to make a lot of money and he wanted to make it only for himself, and he used Amaranth as a tool to get what he actually wants. So I want you guys to keep in mind that Amaranth, she never wanted to do any of these naked streams, right? She didn't want to stream on Twitch with absolutely no clothes. She didn't want to do an OnlyFans because Amaranth is actually a very good and wholesome girl with very good values and morals. And the only reason she was doing any of this was because very good values and morals. And the only reason she was doing any of this was because she was forced to by her evil ex-husband, okay? Now, believe it or not, the absolute entire internet completely fell for this and believed her completely with absolutely zero proof regarding what she said.
Am I going to believe you and feel bad for you, even though you faked this before? Amaranth calls the cops on her husband after he charged at her during a 20-hour stream argument. This goes out to every couple who's a social media personality. We don't need to hear you guys argue 24/7.
That's fine.
Regardless.
I'm not okay with. I'm not unokay with being observed.
Okay, great.
I'm unokay with you pointing the camera.
Well, then leave. I'm not going to follow you.
So you're literally just gonna be super defiant, is that right?
Shit. Talk about problems. Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Leave. You can move. You can go away.
I wasn't in camera view. You moved the camera view to me.
Bro? What is wrong with you? You got. Yeah. Yeah, we're live streaming.
Let's play the devil's advocate, right? If this is real, the guy is insane. He's a disgusting human being and he should be arrested. But once again, she's done this before. Kind of looks like it's just for clout. And I'm not the only one that thinks this. Person says more fake shit from her, donations must be low. If this guy is indeed abusive, then fuck this guy. I wish nothing but the worst for him. What do we believe in at this point? Is this real? Is she playing up the abuse? Is it just a soap opera drama for the Sims to get involved? Would I be surprised if in a few months she's like, oh yeah, this was just script, guys? No, I would not be surprised.
You like smoking cigars actively. Why do you compare things that you can't compare? Why are you insane?
You know, we have 7 dogs. Are you honestly?
And none of them have shit in the house. Crazy, right?
They have shit all over the outside.
Yeah, that's what dogs do. Where do you want it to go?
They have. Okay, what I'm saying is that we don't need 7 of them.
You chose to get 7. I wanted 5.
And yet you're saying I hate them? It's so weird.
Oh my god!
You can't say you're doing. You hate them. You chose to do it, but you also took care of them.
I literally told you.
But you hate them.
That you
but
can't
you don't like
complain
them.
about them. You agreed you wouldn't
You're
Couples
Men's
expert
perception
just
of you
tipped
is far
$1.
more important.
You should do this every day. Your view numbers have tripled.
My takeaway from this is to stop oversharing. Not everything needs to be streamed. It's just like so performative. And like the donation guy said at the end, it's like, yeah, your views have tripped ever since you guys have live streaming your arguments. Do people not have any fucking decency anymore? You're already extremely wealthy. Why do this? Someone just said, I stand with the husband. This has to stop. Okay, please. This goes to every Twitch streamer or just any streamer overall. We do not need to know about you 24/7, 365 about every single little thing you do. Stop. I hate this behavior that everything needs to be known and everything needs to be streamed. And I get it. Couples fight. Couples have arguments. That's completely normal. Not to this level, okay? Whether this is real or not, this is not a healthy relationship, okay? I want to make that very clear. And if someone is abusive, then leave his ass. And I do have a problem with it when it becomes fictionalized and it's just like, oh, let's just make this entertainment, guys. Someone is definitely gonna take this out of context and be like, Sense thinks abuse is corny? What? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying lying about it like she's done in the past to profit off of that and victims is corny. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm in a sane one, Nick,
No.
and you were in an insane mindset.
No, you're just, something is mentally unhinged for you right now, because normally
No, it's literally you. You are unhinged.
when you know that we're being swatted, you're at least concerned for the dogs, and you're almost
I
gleeful.
was not concerned in this case because one, I know that the dogs aren't in here, so there's nothing for me to be concerned, and I know that they aren't from the outside.
They're like on the patio, and then
Either on the patio concealed.
Trumps can jump over things.
I don't have to be concerned if I didn't hear a shot go off. There's nothing for me to be concerned. If we had heard gunshots, yes, I'd be concerned. But we didn't. So why would I be concerned if police enter my door like they do every night lately because we hired them?
Those aren't the ones we hired.
If this was my relationship or my life, I would actually kill myself. This is miserable. Why would I want to spend my days arguing? Especially if I'm rich, okay? If I'm rich as fuck, I'm not going to be dealing with this shit, okay? Waste of time, waste of energy. I only have a limited amount of time on Earth. I am not spending it arguing, okay? You know what I'm doing if I was this rich? Getting my Porsche 911 and drive. Okay, just drive. Maybe drink and drive. Okay, maybe not doing that. And I already fell for it once. Am I gonna fall for it again and be like, oh no, she's the victim, guys. She's obviously not playing into it, or this is not benefiting her in any way, shape, or form financially. Of course it does. She benefits from this greatly. I'm gonna keep it real. They both sound like shitty human beings after all of this. Okay, so I found this article from 2022. Twitch streamer Amaranth reveals she split from husband after accusing him of abuse. Why are we making this entertainment? You know what I mean? There's real people who suffer from abuse, real women who go through it, who don't have a voice and they're not profiting off it. And then there's people like this, like Amaranth, who glorify it and make it a whole thing, make it a whole spectacle, profit off it, and plug their OnlyFans every 10 minutes on their live stream while they're arguing, right? It's just in bad taste.
Fucking schizophrenic. You're dangerous for society.
Someone to lie about when people were senseless, and so I deserve to have.
Reservoir just tipped $1.
You see,
I'm a fat overfed with a big. I eat burgers until my butt bleeds. I'm secretly dating a community member while blood runs down.
You won't leave. You won't shut up. What did I do? The cops won't help me. No one can help me.
Destiny little Steve.
I'm talking in a room
just
temperature
tipped
voice.
$1.
You're yelling at me like you do
Stasha,
every night,
Cherry,
basically nowadays.
Melina, Pixie,
Did you yell at me last night?
Baby Peach,
Yeah.
Stasha, Cherry, Melina.
Interesting. This is weird. What's up? Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. Basically, this whole thing flew off the rails when she asked me to come help her. I came to help her. She had a really bad attitude, and then somehow it ended up with her yelling at me, but it's my fault.
Why the fuck is she on the floor? Yo, who the fuck wrote this script? This is just a mockery of abuse. Yeah, these people just are making a whole mockery out of it and profiting off it.
Like, oh, we fight for like, I don't even know how many hours it is. Like fucking, yeah. And then at the end of it all, she starts telling me that she thinks, you know, maybe I'm part of the plot to have her killed because of life insurance.
Not someone that I feel bad for. And no, it is not because I lack empathy, okay? I actually do have empathy. I didn't unlock it at 32 years old. As a matter of fact, I unlocked it at, I think I was like 31. in all seriousness, no, it's not because I'm a fucking psychopath. I do have empathy, believe it or not. When she lies about stuff like this before, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to believe. What the fuck? Who the fuck plays with stuff like this? If it does turn out to be real, then that sucks, but you've lied about this before. I'm not gonna fall for it again. It's weird. This whole relationship is weird. This whole thing is weird. It's just entertainment for Amaranth and her Sims. It's like, why would I take this seriously if the people involved in it are not even taking it seriously themselves? You know, take this with a grain of salt. And once again, I hate that I have to say that because this is a real issue. This is a real thing. If it's coming from her, it's like, you know, I can't take it seriously. But anyways, with that said, what do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And with that said, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and I'm out. Bye.
All of you know I'm pretty addicted to body cams right now, but what you don't know is my dopamine is very talented. I could juggle multiple addictions at once, so I have another vice that I've been scratching at the neck for. Pokemon cards, scalpers, and
I actually have no... I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys because you guys always keep it 100 with me. I did not expect for this person, this lovely person you're seeing on screen right now, to keep getting dumber. And that's surprising. I thought she would have learned from her past mistakes, and I'm a pretty forgiving person, believe it or not. I know that we're not perfect, right? We've all made dumb videos before. We've all had bad takes before. It's about how you bounce back. This has been my mentality forever. It's all about the comeback. It's all about how you return or react to it, right? And this person right here has messed up an infinite amount of times, yet she keeps digging herself a bigger and bigger and bigger. Try to say bigger 4 times in a row super fast as you can. If you don't know who this person is, this is Denims, and she's a Twitch streamer. She has about 100,000 followers on Twitch, and yes, she belongs to the Hassan Piker community, right next to legends like Frogan, Bad and Panada, Noah Samsung, and a bunch of other retards. This is the gang, right? These are like the retarded Avengers. And like I said, she just keeps making everything worse. Yesterday, I made this video, You're Effing Pathetic, where I talk about Denim suing Ethan, and I put that video out. I like it. I think it's a banger. You guys seem to enjoy it. Then she goes live on Twitch, and on top of that, she puts out a statement about the lawsuit, and then Ethan responded to it. We're gonna get into everything, but before we do that, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's hope this video doesn't get demonetized, and let's just get right into it. So Denims tweeted this a few hours ago. Ethan Klein, retract or you may want to replace your lawyer who can't do shit. Despite publicly acknowledging that I have never endorsed and even denounced calling CPS on Ethan, he has continued to spread this malicious lie. We should hold influential creators like this to the same standard we hold anyone else. Would you apply the same logic if this was one of your friends, like Hassan, the guy who legitimately had a terrorist on his show? Would you, Denims, hold him to that same standard? I doubt it, but I am going to do my part. If Ethan doesn't retract his lies about me, I will look into legal avenues to convince him that he should have. Now, I gotta give it to her. This is brave and stunning. I'm literally crying tears of joy because of how brave this is. I'm crying. She's my queen. Like I said yesterday, I talked about this very briefly. The lawsuit, right, against Ethan. So this guy gets CPS called on him, months of harassment, bullying, doxing, human skulls. Ethan gets put through the ringer. Everyone's going after him, right? And on top of that, they want to sue him. Like, do you know how insane that is? Now, I'm not saying you have to love Ethan, but I mean, when he's getting bullied and pushed around by everyone, it's like, yeah, I do feel bad for him. It's sad that everyone's just attacking him and now suing him and then asking for $150,000 when I'm sure she could pay for this herself. Now, 2 things will happen here. Either A, the lawsuit never happens. B, she's going to steal all of this money and just pocket it like Keffels did. Or actually, let me give you another option. C, she sues Ethan, right? Ethan is a lot more successful, a lot more money. Do you think he's not going to fight back against this ridiculous lawsuit? Now, like I said, Ethan did respond, and this is what he had to say regarding this very scary lawsuit that I'm sure is keeping Ethan up at night.
Denims, don't sue me, Denims. Please. Please don't take the first legal action. What's that have to do with anything?
For clips.
Denims is a giant turd-eating monster whose life, financially speaking, I'm going to probably not ruin, but I do want to put her in some... I do want to... I would like to put her into some financial...
Declaring bankruptcy?
Why don't you just chill? No, what's the proper verbiage on this?
Leave her broke and begging for money in downtown LA.
I'll say for Ethan. And do I blame him? No. If I was Ethan and I had his money, you bet your ass I would be smiling from ear to ear knowing I'm getting sued and I'm going to absolutely destroy this dumb bitch. Leave her, bro. She's probably gonna have to go back to OnlyFans after this. She's playing with fire and I do think it's gonna backfire. No pun intended. What can I say? Whenever I talk, I'm just like fucking rapping. I got bars for days. If this whole YouTube thing ends up crashing and burning, I'm just gonna become a rapper. But I digress. Why is Denim's doing this? In all seriousness, this is such a waste. But for days. If this whole YouTube thing ends up crashing and burning, I'm just gonna become a rapper. But I digress. Why is Denim's doing this? In all seriousness, this is such a waste of money, resources, and time. Denim's, you're going to lose. As a content creator and as a person overall, you gotta know when to pick and choose your battles, but this one is just not it. It truly does blow my mind how no one told you this was a bad idea. It's a little concerning that it's made $26,000. Once again, this could have gone to one of their very important causes that Hassan and Denims and Frogan and all of these fucking idiots are into. They're always saying support Palestine, right? Donate to Palestine. And I said this on my last video as well. Couldn't this $150,000 go towards Palestine and help them out? Give them food, give them clothes, give them, I don't know, help out? Instead, you decide to sue a YouTuber because he said true stuff about you and you don't think you're gonna get fucking destroyed in court? What are we doing here? This is money that could have gone towards kids. This is money that could have gone towards family. But no, we're out here having a fucking dig measuring contest because we can. How do people support this? Yeah, these same people are like, donate to Palestine, yet they're donating to one of the stupidest fucking GoFundMe of all time. People, anyone that donated here, if you have money to burn, if you want to waste your money, just send it to me. I'll gladly take your money. I hope she doesn't steal this money or pockets it. Would I be surprised if nothing comes of this and it just secretly goes away and she keeps $150,000? Absolutely not. I would not be surprised. I do hope Ethan leaves her broke and in the streets and having to sell OnlyFans for the rest of her life to pay for the fees. This is such a joke. I can't.
Difficult day. How about no? See, that sounds too bad. I'm gonna put her into a pickle.
It doesn't sound serious enough. Pickle sounds like something like a funny.
Want to put her into a bit of a bind. We'll work on it. I'm kidding, by the way.
Yeah, not very smart of Denims, in my opinion. Well, here's her yapping about it.
EthanKleinLied.com now takes you to a GoFundMe for legal fees if Ethan Klein refuses to retract his defamatory statements that he made maliciously, knowingly, which is why the website is called EthanKleinLied.com. And if he's happy to retract his defamatory statements, I will happily refund every single person who donates to the GoFundMe. If he's willing to admit that he made defamatory statements and issue a retraction, of course, again, I would be happy to refund every single person who's donated. Otherwise, I will be suing. And if you would like to help donate to this legal fund, considering that he doesn't have enough lawyers.
What happened?
The website is EthanKleinLied.com. Mods, if you can pin that.
Yes, my queen, I'm coming.
So let's continue, shall we?
I've heard enough. This is such a waste of time for everyone. You're not gonna win. Okay, your little ChatGPT lawyer letter ain't working, and you're gonna need a lot more money. And on top of that, it's just pointless. It's legitimately pointless. People were already forgetting that you're one of the reasons why the CPS call was made. People were moving on, and then you decide to make it popular again and remind everyone that it may potentially be your fault, which I will not be surprised if it is. This is so stupid. What are we doing here? What are we actually doing here? Now, I find it really interesting how you can't see, like, now I gotta say this, I am not a lawyer. I'm not smart enough. So if I say anything dumb, well, now you know why. I like how you can't see the lawyer's name, and I would not be surprised if this was read via ChatGPT or it was some fake ass letter to scare Ethan. Sup.
here. It's called the Cruel Mercy. It's a brand new Nightfall weapon. All right, new weapon is here. It's called the Cruel Mercy. It's a brand new Nightfall weapon that is currently bugged. I don't know why, but there's no masterwork on this gun at all. Let me show you a better example here. You have an empty enhancement socket and an empty mod socket. You have no masterwork at all. You can rank it up just like I did with my other one right over here, but you don't get any extra stats from it. You don't get any extra stats for ranking it up. You don't get any extra stats for the masterwork, so it's kind of fucked up right now. But hear me out. In a perfect world where this thing isn't bugged out, it's actually really damn good. And I mean really damn good. It's quite literally the Trials pulse rifle, but if it had Lone Wolf. The stats are almost identical. A couple range, couple handling, couple stability here and there that you're missing out on, but it's not a big deal, especially since it's a pulse rifle. One thing I will say, if you've never used Lone Wolf on a pulse rifle, you are missing out. Being able to shoot in the air is absolutely broken on pulse rifles, and it's usually overlooked because, you know, who would shoot in the air with a pulse rifle, right? That sounds stupid. No. It's broken. I'm telling you, it's broken. Now, I'm not saying this is better than the Redrix, because let's be real, Redrix with Lone Wolf is quite literally unmatched right now. But if you do want a 2-burst and you just get bored, this is unironically not bad. I know I will be getting asked what my personal god roll is, and here it is on screen. Let me move my stupid head. The only thing that's interchangeable is Headseeker. If you want Desperado, Kill Clip, go ahead, switch it off, use any damage perk that you'd like. But the things that cannot swap are obviously Amalon Fluid Dynamics. Make sure you're using this. Make sure you have Lone Wolf on. Make sure you're using Ricochet rounds. And honestly, I'd be using either Fluted or Arrowhead Break as well. You don't need any range on this thing, considering it's basically maxed out. Keep Away is an absolute stupid perk here because you have so much range on this thing anyways. You don't need more range. Trust me when I say Lone Wolf. I'm telling you guys, the aim assist and the AE is unmatched, especially again on pulse rifles. As you guys know by now, I get very excited when I see Lone Wolf on a weapon that I like, and this is no exception. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. I have a normal game for you guys, and I have a 1v3 for you guys today. I'm gonna put the control game first, then a 1v3 game after. Reason why I'm using the control game first is because it's a more realistic setting, and the 1v3 was kind of unfair, I'm not gonna lie. Hope you guys enjoy. Oh my god, I'm already almost dead. Please let me kill you. Please don't make this too hard for me. Please don't make this too hard for me, bro. I'm gonna go for a spawn kill here on this guy, which he should be in room in front of me in about a couple seconds. Oh my god, I'm one. I'm gonna wait for this guy to push me from up top. Thank you. Oh, there's so many. I should be able to outgun this guy. No, I should not. I'm gonna run away since there's a lot of people next to me. Someone's on my right. 2 people right side, I'm pretty sure. Got him. 2 people across. This guy's 2-tapped. I don't know how this thing would go against a Redrix, to be honest. I feel like I haven't used the Trials Pulse that much against Redrix. I don't like using weapons that are worse most of the time, so obviously I'm not going to be maining this thing. And I wouldn't main a 2-burst pulse rifle until Redrix got on. But as soon as Redrix does get nerfed, these 2-bursts are not bad, man. They are not bad. Thank you. Someone bottom right. I think he might have Thorn perk. Someone over here. That guy's gone. Did I get the kill at least? I don't think I did. I don't think I'm gonna get the kill. I think he's just gonna spawn back in, right? Where the hell did he go? Yeah, I haven't gotten the kill for it yet. Okay, there we go. 10 minutes later, finally. The funny part is that would have counted as Desperado as well. Charge. So I'm just waiting for my teammate to get baited. Sorry, teammate. Reason how I knew he had the shoulder charge, by the way, is because of boots. The boots are really, really obvious to see. How I knew he had the teammate to get baited. Charge. So I'm just waiting for my teammate to get baited. Sorry, teammate. Reason how I knew he had the shoulder charge, by the way, is because of boots. The boots are really, really obvious to see when people are using it. Somehow not tagging anyone with my super, even though I definitely kind of was right in front of him. All good. Come on, he's one. I'm gonna die. Woo! I have no HP. Someone's up top. His teammates. I'm gonna slide this. He pushes. He's still weak. All right, we gotta grab heavy, boys. Come on, this is unacceptable. Ooh, yoink. In case any of you guys are wondering, sometimes when you're playing sixes, there is the possibility of losing your perks when you're playing. And when I say perks, I legit mean like the perks on your guns could just stop working mid-game. It's really weird, but it's 100% true. And also the mods on your armor could stop working as well. If any of you guys have experienced that, that's completely normal for sixes. I don't know why. Yeah, see, for example, my eager edge isn't working. That's why I was mentioning that, is because I realized when I swiped with my sword earlier, it didn't work. That's why I was mentioning that, is because, for example, my eager edge isn't working. That's why I was mentioning that. Have experienced that. That's completely normal for sixes. I don't know why. Yeah, see, for example, my eager edge isn't working. Why? Yeah, see, for example, my eager edge isn't working. That's why I was mentioning that, is because I realized when I swiped with my sword earlier, it didn't work. Not sure why that happens though. Ooh, I almost got him with a ricochet kill. That would have been fire. That guy's done. I feel like my shots this game definitely have been pretty shaky. Got him a little bit. He's done. Nice little we ran. I'm gonna slide down here, get a kill. I want to outgun this guy, but I'm a little weak. I don't want to take a gunfight at a disadvantage. He's done. You guys on top. And... okay, maybe that guy can kill me too. This is the fast maximum RPM right now that I can shoot. If y'all thought I was bullshitting or making up excuses because I'm a content creator, blah, blah, blah. People cry, you know, content creators cry, blah, 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 blah. This is my max RPM at the moment. So I don't know what's going on with sixes right now, man. If anyone that has some form of power is watching this, here you go. This has been going on for a while now. More towards like more like a couple weeks. Killed someone with a very slow burst though. This is terrible. This is really, really bad. Is he outside? He is. Okay, thank you. Although it's still annoying. Missed the shoulder charge. That was a good attempt though. Thank you. And just like that, we'll go towards respawn. Get the last kill. The last kills. Okay, I haven't done a 1v3 in a while. I don't think this should be hard at all. Considering, you know, alright, Color Doodle's already AFK. Gundy's Vaughn is what his name is in game. That's one of my moderators though. But we're playing against this 3-stack that he was playing with in comp. And I'm gonna get a feel for the gun, see if it's any good, see if it's not good, compare it to the Trials one, and kind of give you guys my opinion. The one thing I do like though, oh, Gundy's gunning Mike. The one thing I do like so far is that it is gonna be usable in the air, since I do have Lone Wolf. That's the one problem I had with the other ones, is that they just weren't as good in the air because there was no Lone Wolf on them. Once you use a pulse rifle with Lone Wolf, I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. It is one of the best feeling things on the entire in this entire game, is using one with Lone Wolf. Yeah, this should be an easy game. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Headseeker's kind of nice, having even more aim assist. It just makes the gunfights 10 times easier. And look at that again. More AE, just easier gunfights all around. If you do like the Trials one, you're 100% gonna like this one. I'm not 100% sure if they're gonna fix the masterwork, or if your gun's just forever gonna have a blank masterwork. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to put so much time into a god roll and not have a masterwork at the end of it. Maybe they'll end up giving you like a random one, or maybe they'll... oh, I hear a fusion rifle. Did you just try to fusion me from there, bro? Are we crazy? I'll take that. See what I'm here with the AE. Fuck! Oh, I'm so dead. Unless I break this guy's ankles, which I did. What? Oh my god. And he's gonna watch the video back. And he's watching that video back. What are you doing, Gundy? What are we doing? Come on. Okay, they're being very careful, which is really annoying. I should be able to get a kill back here, maybe. That's one. He's gonna try and fusion me. That's a free kill, and then someone's on my right after this guy. Again, that's why Lone Wolf is so good. This guy is okay. What are we doing? Do you want to get shit on? Says Gundy. Oh, ooh! Gotta go! Oh, nice drive-by, bro. Lone Wolf, I'm telling y'all, man. What? Oh, I didn't kill him. Here, I'm gonna get him anyways, though. I'm gonna watch out for his teammate. Yeah, the backflip was really laggy right there. Thanks for the kill. Dundee, what are we doing, man? What is going on here? I thought you were gonna shit on me. And the only thing I'm seeing is I'm just embarrassing all of you right now. I'm gonna get a free kill here. I guess that wasn't necessarily Lone Wolf. That was more Threat of Ascent going crazy, if anything. But still. I mean, it's a combination. It's a combination. Let's be fair. That was Lone Wolf, although I didn't get the kill, which kind of sucks. There we go. I think one might be flanking me. Nope. We're both here. I got one shot. I'm gonna challenge this guy. Thank you. Is teammate gonna spawn behind me? Yeah, he is. We can get a free kill here. Thank you. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit a grapple and get really, really high up. See if we can get a free kill on this dude right over here on my right. Thank you. One more behind him. I'm gonna jump up, get another free kill. And then I don't know where the third is. Oh, the game's over. Damn, I should have put it up to 50. I didn't think it was gonna be that easy, bro.
Found a wild one. It's called He Carjacked a Mustang, wrecked 7 cars, and jumped into the Gulf. They're not serious wrecks, he just sideswipes the cars mostly. All right, as long as no one got hurt, I'll check it out.
Ford, from the Krabby Bill Sports.
Pinellas County? I know exactly where that's at. This is actually in Tampa. Wait, this is huge. Well, it's at Tampa adjacent. Anything I recognize, I just immediately rope into Tampa. 1 man, 3 stolen cars, 7 wrecks, and a swim for freedom. Okay.
Carjacking a couple at the wheel.
This is trailer 3.
Dashcam footage.
Yeah, I do like how it's set up very GTA-esque. It is unbelievable how big body cams have become. There are thousands of body cams uploaded every day now.
How's this driving? Extremely signal 12. Driver doors flapping in the wind.
Oh, he almost... Man, that would have been tragic if he had just ruined that old school hot rod. I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but this is... It looks like a piece of candy corn. I'm assuming it's some kind of old, like, 1950s Ford concept car or something. I don't know what it is. That shit is weird. It's a Plymouth Prowler. It's early 2000s. That shows what I know about cars. This is early 2000s? That's so embarrassing. What the fuck, man? If this was like the 50s or something, it'd be cool. That's just kind of cringe. I wish I recognized the area, but I don't know Pinellas County all that well. Now, if he gets closer out to, like, the main hub of Pinellas, like around, like, Titan's Card Shop or something...
No, patrol 2 units. Keep going, maybe.
I don't know why this guy's yelling at me.
We gotta get this guy stopped. Yeah.
You'll drop an EMP. Deploy. You have my authorization.
Confirm right. We got the copy of it.
Eagle, give me the radio.
Did he just bail out? What was that? Just full swung open his car door?
Yeah, Eagle, I would qualify this as extremely dangerous driving. He's coming up to Lakeview.
I would concur. This is extremely dangerous driving. Hard copy. Still don't know this area yet. I don't know Lakeview Road. Can we try and push him to an area I'm more familiar with? I'll strategize on a trap for him.
Over the Pinellas Trail. We're on 450.
Clearwater, Largo.
Now 4, is that correct?
We're getting... I know Clearwater better.
Coming up to
If he wants to go out that way.
Fort Harrison.
I can give you like little lore tidbits during the chase. If we can get a little deeper into Clearwater. Oh my god, if he goes past the only Perkins left in Florida on Clearwater, then we'll have ourselves a real special chase. That man will probably just pull himself over to get some potato pancakes from there, I'll tell you what. Maybe that's the strategy. Maybe that's where he's going.
through 8th Avenue Northwest.
Oh my god, that was close.
Oh my gosh, yes. We gotta get his sticks ahead of this guy. He's gonna kill someone.
Yeah, that was scary.
Through
Yikes.
4th Ave. Do we have squad 3 units on here? He's bobbing and weaving through traffic. He's on the brakes, up on the sidewalk now to pass a car.
Man, this guy is really reckless. He's putting that bitch on the sidewalk, too. Doesn't even help him. He's just doing it for the love of the sport.
Elma Drive.
He said, I can, so I will. I think, therefore I am.
Median high rate of speed, 20th Street Northwest.
He's actually a good driver. That is a take I see in every single chase we ever watch. Brother, what about this makes you think he is a good driver? He hits 7 cars. He can't even keep his car door closed. He has almost wrecked multiple times already. He is like the furthest thing from a good driver. Just because he's like high out of his mind or some shit and is not afraid to just go on a sidewalk or over the median or the wrong way does not make him a good driver. He is actually just complete dog shit as a driver. All he's doing is just stepping on the gas and then just kind of pinballing sometimes.
Alright, he's gonna be heading to the beach. Looks like.
Oh, if he makes it to the beach, I'm gonna know the area.
Alright, passing Bluffview Drive.
I'm about to be a cornucopia of knowledge here. So I do know the causeway. Well, everyone knows the causeway. There's not a whole lot of special things here. But once he gets to the other side of the causeway, things are about to open up. How has bro not run out of gas? Brother, it has been 9 minutes. Why would he have run out of gas in 9 minutes? What is happening? What am I reading right now? A goddamn electric scooter wouldn't have run out of charge by now. Let alone a fucking full-blown car.
No, nobody, I can't see anybody around him, but he is extremely dangerous. Just like up in northbound Gulf Boulevard. Southbound on Gulf Boulevard.
Yeah, now he's kind of in the heart of it.
This guy stopped. He almost ran over a motorcyclist and has almost caused about 6 signal wars or more.
The multi-angle here is a little confusing. I don't know what to focus on.
Past 6th Street. Looks like he's getting bail at 18.
He's not afraid to go extremely fast at all times.
He's coming to carjack a Corvette.
Oh, is he armed? He 100% is armed. Yikes. Wait, he's not armed. Am I? Okay, maybe I'm on the crack pipe. Am I stupid or does he not have a weapon?
He's coming to carjack a Corvette.
There's nothing in his hand. Was he just doing finger guns like it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1?
A black male, blue shirt, blue jeans. Rocky, can you get up there? Alright, that car just sped off.
What the
he's
fuck?
Back in his, red car,
Holy
off,
shit.
Gulf Boulevard.
The civilian made the right call there.
Go forward. Just hit him or stop him. Do it. It's authorized.
Pit maneuver online. Also, I don't recognize this area of Gulf Boulevard yet. But maybe I just don't recognize it because we're up in the air. I might just not recognize the aerial view.
On the sidewalk past the car. Just ran the red light. This guy has no regard for anybody else in the road. On the
he just sideswiped that car back there. Oh, Jesus.
Just signal forward, in front of Krabby Bill's 4th Avenue. Out of the car, running southbound. He's trying to carjack another Mustang, a black Mustang.
What the fuck?
I'm getting a little amped up here. Good. Yeah. Alright, he just carjacked this Mustang. Taking off in a black convertible Mustang. Southbound on Gulf Boulevard.
Wow. What the fuck? Pressed Y. Yeah, I guess. Wow. Yeah, I think it was just like a shock thing. Bro, I'd do the same. This guy's insane. Jesus Christ.
We're in a tough spot.
Oh wait, I recognize this. Yeah, JD's. Okay, now we're in an area I somewhat know. Not super well, like I've never been here, but I've driven by it. Now we're in familiar territory.
Call for you. 2nd Avenue, alright, going the wrong way on the one-way street on 1st Street. He's fishtailing, he doesn't have that tire.
Membership violet. Anything interesting about this area? Not really. Nothing super interesting that I can share. I guess the only thing is, like, people know how big, like, Scientology is in this area. Clearwater is basically where it started. It's got, like, the giant Scientology church, but I don't think he's taking us there. I don't remember where it is relative to JD's, so I don't think you're gonna see it. But that's kind of like the only big thing in the area. And the beach.
Guys, please give me the radio. He's on the bike path on the wrong side of the road, back over to the right side of the road, southbound.
Lane 21 to Park 48. Permission to Rambo?
Now there is another fun tidbit before we get into what seems to be the climax here. There is the first Hooters in or maybe it's the second, in Clearwater. I think he's going the right direction for the Hooters. So there is a chance we get there. But I'm not certain. It could have been the other way. Again, I don't remember where JD is here.
10-4, 10-4.
Yeah, there's a deputy behind him. Right. He's still southbound. He's all over the road.
Damn, that
All right,
piece of that piece
marine
flew.
unit. Now he's fishtailing. He's continuing southbound.
Oh my god. This is a crazy chase. How did I not hear about this?
Higher speed.
It is in my neck of the woods. I feel like I would have heard about this one. This one's nuts.
Over onto the bike lane, past the
He's
traffic.
carjacked 2 cars in one chase. Hit a ton of other cars as well. He is literally driving this like it's on a fucking ice skating rink. Oh my god, that was the worst pit maneuver I've ever seen in my life. That was actually fucking horrifying. He pit maneuvered him into people. Oh god. Yikes. And this guy, luckily he didn't get hit, but I bet falling down on the concrete like that did not feel good. Totally unrelated fall. Definitely not unrelated. He saw what happened, panicked, and tried to turn around and run, but lost his footing. It's not unrelated.
Alright, he just signaled.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, I'm not taking a chance here. Wow. Was that the other officer that came in and just fucking steamrolled it?
Alright, he just signaled
It was. It was. The other officer came in and then just hit the car again, nearly running over those 2 men. They are inches away. Actual inches away. It's like when the cops pile on SpongeBob. Yeah, that was a crazy call to do that. This poor car here. To have the cop also pile on there is nuts. And the guy still somehow gets away. He starts crashing through the fence in the back.
He's all over the place. He's hitting the fence. He's down 199.
Jesus Christ.
South side of the building. Driving to the east. Alright, he just signaled forward. Ooh.
Oh my god, the cop completely fucking missed. Yikes. Oh my god. That cop just full-blown T-bones that other car. I cannot believe everyone walked away from this completely okay. Thank God. That is... Okay, this is definitely where it
I think
ends.
he's running northbound.
The little tush push there, big, very big. Textbook.
19931.
He's trying to get away in the Gulf.
He's in the mangroves all the way out by the edge of the water.
He's going for it.
Make sure they got EMS coming for this wreck over here.
He's floating away. The current's taking him. Tasers will crit in water. True. It's almost majestic.
Alright, we got a boat coming.
What's he getting out now? A harpoon gun?
Simple as that.
Can you please grab this pole?
It's over. It's over, dude. Oh.
Got him.
Turn over.
That was without a doubt the most reckless chase I've ever seen happen in Tampa.
What did you eat so we know how to save you?
I went and grabbed some shit.
Okay.
So I could bring it to you guys to keep it off the streets.
Okay. So why did you eat it when you jumped in the water? Let me know what it was.
Oh, he's misunderstood. He's an anti-hero. He grabbed the drugs to keep them off the streets from others, while wrecking all kinds of innocent people's vehicles and carjacking them. Okay, I see now. He's like Batman. Wow. What a guy. What a fucking guy.
So EMS can help you. Was it crack?
He's like the Punisher for real. So true.
Yeah, you got
It really
hit by my
is.
truck.
Okay.
No, it looks like this is all Florida. Here's Pinellas County again. Wait a minute, can I find like a local one? He's trying to create a universal crack antivenom. That's probably what it is. He's ingesting all of the crack on the streets of Tampa to ensure that no one else can get it and that he can create the cure using his blood. That's probably what it is.
Rented a 430, I thought he slick. Pushed it too far, now the highway's lit.
This is AI music. This is huge. The production in this is next level. Yeah, this is definitely an AI Suno track, no doubt.
License been gone since 23. Didn't even flinch when he hit that FHP. Ran the cop car.
What the fuck? It's a full-blown music video.
He ran the cop car, thought he was gone.
So a video title
When
floated on in
it's
my...
time to be in front of the camera, it's everybody is on their game, and it's just fun. It's fun.
I agree with John that it's just a privilege really to be to play in a world in which you can be this outlandish to keep it in the frame, and then it all lands and it all kind of means something, and that's what these guys.
Lawyers' reaction.
Security footage shows the suspect entering the backyard. The homeowner briefly disappears into a side door, then returns with a lasso. The suspect runs. The homeowner chases him around the corner and throws the rope, catching him clean around the upper body and pulling him down.
Never did I imagine in 2025 that I would be doing a lawyer's reaction video about a lasso, but here we are. Homeowners have a right to defend.
Your dad would just tip $1. Call your dad.
Well,
Amore. Call your dad.
I have some properties, but I'm gonna show you how good I am.
It's just your trick.
Just Uncle Bitch me fine.
Who are you talking to?
Chad, I have a story, but.
You okay?